goal of standardized testing is not to find out how well you think through problems, or if you can express your opinions, or if you can create a presentation. The goal is to find out what you were able to memorize. That's a quote by Andy Hoodlow. Let's be honest, whoever wants to take a standardized test? They seem impossible, don't they? Schools go to extreme measures to teach you the things for a meaningless test, but a test that can take your life. As I have taken many standardized tests, I'm pretty much a professional at filling in those stupid bubble tests. But it hasn't taught me anything about life or what's important in life. Because of the SAT and ACT scores, because of my SAT and ACT scores, I didn't get admitted to the college that I applied to, and that's what brought me here today. I have found many supporting articles for my argument, and people are even boycotting these tests to bring attention to the subject. The need for SAT and ACT testing is no longer necessary, and there's many other ways to be admitted to colleges than just a test. By the end of my speech, you will learn many reasons as to why these tests can and should be eliminated. My first point of my speech will be discussing an article called "Standardized Testing is Not an Accurate Measure of Intelligence." Next, I will talk about how prevalent the issue is, but nothing is really being done about it. Last, I'll talk about the extreme measures that people are taking to get good scores so they can get into the colleges that they want to go to. To start, these tests are not an accurate description as to how people are as students. In an article by National Public Radio, they say SATs are not for everybody but reality for most, meaning these tests are merely a measure of how good of a test taker you are, not how much you are able to memorize and in your math and reading classes. Wiley Mitchell, the Dean of Admissions at Bates College, says, "We could cross the quad and 4 out of 10 people we meet would be non-submitters." He says, adding that the difference in graduation rates between those who submitted their scores and those who didn't is 0.1%, which is a really shocking statistic, seeing as many people are aware of these issues in testing. With the testing, only little is being done about it. In another article by CBS Local in Miami, they discuss the extreme measures that some students are going to get better scores on these tests. When it came to Sarah Rodeo's scores on the SAT, she was determined to do whatever it took. She said, "I drilled the math all in my head throughout the summer and into my junior and senior year. And in the fall, I was still taking practice exams every weekend." People spend years preparing for these tests that are based on memorization and not exactly knowing if the information was retained, processed, and understood. Now that we've talked about the need, let's talk about how we can fix this problem. Fortunately, this is becoming a bigger and bigger issue. I know that sounds bad, but let me explain. These tests are causing stress and anxiety, and more doctors are seeing this and trying to make a change. In an article by WJCT News, they talk about a 3rd grader named Katie Wolf who doesn't usually get stressed about her tests in school. One day she came home crying, saying that she filled out the bubble sheet wrong. Under current state rules, students who don't pass this test that Katie took in the 3rd grade class can face possible holding back in her 3rd grade class. And kids in 10th grade must pass this test in order to receive their high school diploma. These tests do pretty much nothing and cause unnecessary stress and tears. If I'm honest, a lot of wasted time. Picture yourself at the perfect college, learning what you want to learn about a subject that someday can become your dream job. You can be set up for life. Getting rid of these tests can help thousands of students get into the colleges they want to go to every year. My personal experience with standardized testing has not been a pleasant one. I get test anxiety and I can't take tests under pressure and I just lose it. I would always look around me in class and look at everyone else working hard and seeing that they knew what they were doing, and I felt like I didn't. Honestly, it made me feel stupid even when I was doing well, and I think I'm a pretty good problem solver. Now that we talked about all the stress that these tests can cause, I want to share what can be done to make the necessary changes. In closing, we need to What needs to happen is petitions need to get signed, protests need to happen, and boycotting needs to be tried to eliminate these tests for admissions. Colleges and universities need to realize that they need to find other ways to eliminate these tests. They may even get more enrollment and make more money. Every year it seems more and more students find they can't avoid being sucked into the turmoil of admissions process, no matter how relaxed they are when they first started. But it's getting into a college that much more stressful than it used to be? I think yes. These tests are making it almost impossible to get in college when they should be something to look forward to and not be scared. Lastly, in an article from EBSCOhost called Getting into College, they say that everything when it comes to life and school gets better before it gets worse, and I truly believe that.